Disclaimer: I received this product for free, so it was definitely better because of that, and I am totally biased. I am also comparing this to Crusader Kings 2 with all the currently available DLC, so please don't start up with the comments of y'all, oh, but CK3 doesn't have any DLC. I know, okay? Crusader Kings 3, the freshly released sequel to the 2012 Crusader Kings 2, is a strange game to behold after my whopping 700 hours in Crusader Kings 2. As I start the game, I am slammed in the face with shiny new graphics and impressively high fidelity loading screens. But as I continue through the game's menus and get to the actual gameplay, I start to become a little bit cautious as the menus are more modernistic and simple compared to the dramatic medieval style buttons we had in CK2. It's like leaving an antiques collection shop straight into the other side of an Apple store. But much like the Apple store, I am wowed by its cleanliness, lighting, and organization. Then it strikes me, the centerpiece, the creme de la creme, the map. I could gush for days over the map. We go from an old parchment with hand-drawn countries and borders to a wonderful country-colored map, all the way down to a view organized by individual duchies and then counties. All the while, the map is dynamically changing from one map type to another to showcase the level of detail you would want to see at that particular zoom. It would also seem that Paradox have finally learned that nobody uses the terrain map mode as the default, and it automatically starts you on the realm map mode. Well done, Paradox. Don't worry, we'll be singing your praises for the adaptations as we go. Onwards. Once I stopped being entranced by the map, I am immediately drawn to the 3D portraits, or should I say actual characters rather than portraits. And now I start to note the major differences so far are just that, a big difference, but not quite an improvement. I would say this is more of a refinement instead. Though this method does better express certain things such as genetic makeup, our characters do now sort of look like our parents and grandparents in a way better way than CK2 would be able to show. I can also very clearly tell when my character has been mugged in an alleyway or contracted smallpox or some other nasty disease. Moving on from the actual physical appearance of the characters, we come to their traits. I long for Paradox to go back to the system of red is bad and green is good, hearts for congenital and circles for life experience traits. But I see the merits in the system they have in place here, which seems to be based on the location of the traits bar rather than the shape or color, and the icons are much nicer. So now that I've looked at my person, I note that the game is already trying to throw knowledge at me. But I am pleasantly surprised to see that Paradox again are evolving and learning. It's actually a good tutorial system. It explains simply and well enough that I'm not overwhelmed by massive amounts of information on screen. I'm also loving the tooltips and well, you get my point. I also enjoyed that Paradox have given me the ability to control how these tooltips react and act. The flow of information is so much better than CK2. After about 6 hours of playtime, I've learned a few things about the game, and in no particular order, here they are. Stress. Stress is a major aspect of the lifestyles you end up with. So if you go against the lifestyle you end up with, you end up getting a lot of stress. I happen to pick the ruler of Wessex, who is shy, which means every time I end up in a situation involving people, I get more stress. Needless to say, my character ended up dying of stress because, funnily enough, being the leader of a growing country involves talking to someone every now and then. The stress mechanic could do with a little bit of work, both visually and mechanically. It took me a little while to realize that the tiny bar in the bottom left hand side of the screen was my stress level. The Council, a great way of displaying the information, but I feel like some of the complexity offered by CK2 has been removed with some of the new missions your councillors can do. For instance, I can send my Archbishop to fabricate a claim for me. In doing so, I know exactly when the claim will be fabricated instead of waiting for my councillor to find the evidence needed, or fabricate the evidence. Some may herald the change as a good thing, but after 6 hours of playing and easily being able to get the claims, I feel a little cheaped out. The same goes with gathering secrets and hooks. Which brings me to my next point. Hooks. Hooks are great. They can range from favors to straight up blackmail. And they mean I can better control my pissed off vassals or family or neighboring nations, or, well, you get the point. Looping back around to the council point, I can send my spy master just about anywhere to sit and gather secrets for me to turn into hooks. Sometimes, if I have the right intrigue education, I can just straight up make up secrets, which again feels quite gamey to me. This may just be me nitpicking though. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on that. The council has a lot more nuance that I'll cover in a future video, so moving on. Education and lifestyle. Man, this was a great improvement over CK2. It gives such a nice depth to the education you receive as a child, and continues to let it evolve without completely shoehorning you into a particular playstyle. I gave Paradox a 9 out of 10 on this one. They just need to do a balance pass over certain ones, like being able to both make up secrets and then selling them for gold, which ends up replacing most kingdoms' incomes quite easily over time. The last point I'll bring up that CK3 added is the dynasty and renown changes. This is another great way of making a long-lived family dynasty hold on to power, as well as removing that annoying feeling I had in CK2 when I was being beaten up by the Abbasids and my brother, the neighboring king, wouldn't even consider helping me. Now he realizes he's my family and might actually help. The extra perks you get are really nice, and I would even consider them well balanced. I really look forward to the longer games of CK3 when I can fully experience these trees. CK3 is missing some things, however. I have no doubt that CK2 with all of its DLCs has spoiled me for choices, and I know that CK3 will catch up in terms of content, hopefully sooner rather than later. I don't want to wait 5 more years, Paradox. So far, what I've noticed is missing is the following. Playable republics. No China, in-game or even as a mysterious off-map benefactor. No armory for me to fill with goodies, weapons, armor, books. No secret societies. This one in particular bummed me out, because they added a great set of events that would add to the lifestyle as you moved on. As a side note, and this is more of a personal grief I have with Paradox, is that theocracies are still not playable. Come on Paradox, I want to be Pope. Let me be Pope. In summary, CK3 is a fantastic game. Until we see some of the DLC they have planned, however, I will say that CK3 is a major refinement of CK2, rather than a massive improvement. I will come back to this after a few DLC have come out, and at that point I have no doubt that I'll be singing CK3's praises and CK2 will be left to the wayside. Thank you for listening to my comparison. Go follow me on Twitch for some live gameplay, twitch.tv/Kaido Marahu. Hit that subscribe button for more CK3 content, such as my 30 seconds or less series, CK3 edition. Don't do anything stupid, come back to me in One Piece next time. Ta-ra.